Over 8 billion people on the planet, and who controls everything? Who controls the outcomes of wars? The bankers. As I've previously explained in my viral videos about the Rothchild dynasty and how they went from pawn shop owner to global bankers, global financial oligarchs. Rothschild banking dynasty, the global banking system, and how money has been used to control people, governments, and the outcomes of wars. I make these videos, and then the first thing I see in the comments are, what about the Venetian, the Florence bankers? And they're talking about the Medici and the Borgia. But here's the thing, it's about how banking system funds both sides of conflicts. The Rothschild bankers, they profit from chaos, they profit from collapse, and they use debt as a weapon, as we've talked about, on how every time that there is a monarch that is in financial difficulty, they'll swoop in, they'll lend the money, but then they get a lot in return. In fact, just Queen Elizabeth gave them the title of barons. And governments don't function without money either, correct? So that's what this banking dynasty was about. Then we have people like clockwork that jump into my comments. And people are like, well, what about the Medici and what about the Borgia? You guys are completely missing the point. First of all, because the Rothschilds were not operating like Renaissance Italian bankers, not even close. The Rothschild model is global. It's not tied to one city. It's not tied to one nation. It's not tied to one people. It's a system built on central banking, sovereign debt, war financing, leverage, financing governments, financing wars, financing both sides, yada, yada, yada. Basically creating dependency through loans. And if those loans can never be repaid, basically the more people suffer, the more the system tightens control. So here's where the Medici comparison falls apart. Because I know that there are conspiracy theories in America about how the Medici were like this cabal of Italian bankers, but that's not even close. That is American conspiracy theory. So the House of Medici, they were never interested in global domination, and they weren't building a global financial system. They weren't trying to control the outcomes of wars across countries. They were just obsessed with Firenze, with Florence. Their money went into Florence. They created cathedrals, art, statues, libraries, university, architecture, all financed by them. Basically, they didn't hide their wealth in offshore system or private vaults, okay? They put their money right back into the city itself. And that's why Florence stands the way it does today. You can literally walk through what they built. So even if they wanted power, it was a local power. It was tied to their city, tied to their reputation. They were creating legacy. They were making a dynasty. Basically, if Florence failed, they failed, which is very different from what the Rothschild dynasty and bankers of today do. The Medici system of banking, they built cities. They built culture. They built education. So the Italian bankers leave behind culture and art, and the German bankers from the Jewish ghetto, the Rothschilds, controls the world through debt. They are not the same. So while the Medici were leaving behind art and culture, the Rothschilds were leaving financial slavery. So no, the Medici, I Medici, are not comparable to the Rothschilds. So once you understand that, the comparison completely dies out. These are not cabal, elite. Those are all conspiracy theories, and nothing is historical and nothing is factual. There is absolutely zero evidence of all of the things. Yes, I appreciate a good story, but those stories, they're not true.